Hello folks. Well, it's been a while since I've chatted to you on here, simply because I've been having an absolutely awesome summer. I've been taking part in lots of trail races, more importantly the Sinister 750 miler and the Canadian Death Race, both of which I completed successfully. And of course they were used to help me prepare for my big race of the year, which was of course the Divide 200, my very first 200-mile race. Now, for those of you curious to see how I got on with the 200 miler, I did actually finish in 84 hours 28 minutes, which I was absolutely chuffed to bits about. I will be doing a blog post about it, so of course I will be sharing the link to that here for anybody that's interested in giving it a read. Now, competing in a 200 miler does of course take lots out of you. So for the past couple of weeks I have actually been sleeping lots and making sure that I get all those nutrients back in my body to help me recover properly. And I haven't been doing very much running at all. So this weekend I've come out to St. Paul to support a very good friend who's taking part in the Iron Horse Ultra. Now, the Iron Horse Ultra was actually my first 100-mile race 10 years ago. And it's one of my favourites, and it takes place in October every year. And they offer not only the 100-mile distance, but also 100k, and there's also relay options if you don't fancy doing the full course on your own. Now, the race starts and finishes at the reunion station in the town of St. Paul, and due to the time of year, it can actually be quite chilly and sometimes foggy at the start. Things do tend to warm up as the day progresses, but make sure that you bring those hats and gloves so that you are prepared. And the first few miles are actually on pavement, and they take you around the town itself before hitting the boardwalk, where you can take in some of those gorgeous sunrise views across the lake. After this, you then start the first of many sections on the Iron Horse Trail. From here, runners are taken on a tour of the Lakeland region of Northern Alberta, and there are several sections where you will be running on the Iron Horse Trail. Whilst the race organisers will argue that trains don't travel uphill unless they have to, don't be deceived into thinking that this course is easy. With farmers' fields, pine forests, woodland trails, golf courses, a little bit of ridge running, and even some tricky stream crossings, this course is far from easy, and it has enough steep climbs to challenge even the strongest of runners. And if you think that this looks easy, there is of course Mean Dean's Hill that will bring you back down to earth. The course itself is pretty much a loop that consists of 8 different legs for the 100 milers and 5 legs for the 100k participants. Now, each leg varies in distance, ranging from around 10 miles or 16 kilometres for the shortest, up to 16 miles or 26 kilometres for the longest leg. Now, this longest leg is also probably the toughest, with close to 1,300 feet of elevation gain. Crew-accessible aid stations can be found at the end of each leg, along with incredible volunteers and a feast of food that's been specially selected for ultra runners. And whilst you will definitely get a very warm welcome at all of the different aid stations, the most popular of course is ALK Point, and this is where a lot of people tend to hang out to cheer on the runners throughout the day. Well, we are now at the ALK Point aid station, and this is at around about the 50 or 60 kilometre mark for those 100k runners. For the 100 milers, they'll carry on and do another loop, which includes a couple more aid stations before returning back at this same point after dark as the sun's gone down. From here, both 100k runners and 100 milers head off along the Iron Horse Trail once again towards Happy Hill. And I've just ran approximately 1 kilometre from the ALK Point aid station, and here is the turn where the runners split. 100 milers go this way, and the 100k runners carry on along the trail straight along here to Happy Hill. It's another 11 miles or around about 17 or 18 kilometres from ALK Point to Happy Hill, and with a good couple of miles of rolling hills towards the end of this leg, the aid station at the top of the final climb is a very welcome sight, especially for those that arrive after dark when they see that warm glow of the fire pit. After refuelling at Happy Hill, Runners then continue along the gravel road with just 13 miles between themselves and the finish line back in town. Well, most of the runners will now be leaving the Happy Hill aid station, making their way along the gravel road, into the trees and through the woodlands, and then doing the final few miles, rejoining the Iron Horse Trail back to the finish here in St. Paul. My friend, she's probably got another 2 or 3 hours of running to do until she too finishes her very first 100k race. Unfortunately, we have to head off home. I'm actually volunteering at another race in the morning, but I really hope that you've enjoyed spending some time here with us today at the Iron Horse Ultra, and that maybe in future years you too consider registering for this race. In the meantime, thanks as ever for watching, and I shall see you all again very soon.